So, hello everyone. Um, Welcome to this online proofing with Enfocus review webinar. I'm Arthur Peck, product manager for review, and this is my first webinar. So, let's introduce myself first. So I'm Arthur. I'm located in Belgium, and I'm at Enfocus for already 6 years. First to R&D as a UX design and front-end developer, and then since January, I've joined the product management team at Enfocus as product manager for Enfocus Review. And I still combine it with my role as product designer. This picture is from one of our events where I engage with our resellers and customers, and this is what led to Enfocus Review because as a brand new product, it was completely built on customer feedback and input. So what users these days expect from modern online proofing software and a viewer to view their proofs. And I will show you the results of all of these inputs in action in this webinar. Then about this webinar, everyone is on mute and we will share the recording afterwards. And I'm joined by Freddy Peters with my colleague, so he will take care of the chat. So please use the chat now that we have the opportunity, and Freddy will take care of all of your questions. And of course, you can reach out to me on my Enfocus email address. And I will start now with the webinar. So before we dig in, let's spend some time reflecting on the daily challenges we have obtaining approvals from our customers. Every day we are producing more and more print jobs, and to ensure the customer is happy with the printed result, we want to communicate the job to our customers first before we send it off to production. A visual check is still required for them. So this leads to challenges which are very time consuming to just obtain approvals from customers. So back and forth round trips to the customer, it's really chasing them. This leads to errors and inconsistencies. And as pre-press knowledge is lacking with most customers, pre-press spends lots of time solving these issues afterwards and errors. Because it's hard to track the changes a customer is requesting and keep up with all of the versions. So now proofing relies on email chains, and if files are too big for email, they send them through any sorts of channels like WeTransfer, FTP, Google Drive, you name them. And from there, they have to download PDFs, add markups, visual markups to indicate what's wrong with the file, what needs to change, which is leading to prepress delays and higher costs back and forth, and not always happy customers because this all takes time, of course. Not only customers are not always happy, but internally, this is a nightmare for you as a printer. You want faster turnaround times. But we at Enfocus, we've built a solution for this, which I will demonstrate. And Focus Review is the answer to that. So we have in Focus Review a powerful online print-centric proofing solution. So it's print-centric, that's important. It simplifies and automates your approval tasks, and it will save you time in the end. So now we will have a look at what makes Enfocus Review special for you. It starts with, it's a 100% guaranteed PDF viewing. This means for you that there are no viewing inconsistencies. You can trust that everyone will always see the same. So you don't have to be scared anymore if they will open it in an old Acrobat version, Apple Preview, or other PDF viewers. Everyone will see the same with our viewer. And this includes overprint and transparencies. So this is very important that always and everyone sees the same, especially for approvals. Then review comes in your own branding. So you have your own logo and you want to be displayed to customers that way. So starting with your branding colors and logo or any logo or branding that you define. So you can set even multiple branding variables and all link them together and link them to a specific web shop or customer or anything that comes. And for example, this magazine is a returning customer, so I want to display his logo and branding colors in our tool to really make it his tool. This gives a very professional impression to the print buyer if they see their logo already there. And then it's really their tool. So it's very valuable to have your own branding in our viewer. Then what's also related to customization is that you can choose which tools to display to your print buyer. We have some very advanced tooling available in review, and thanks to our Enfocus Pistop technology, you can target our magazine customer, for example, who you know is very print technical and is expecting all these bells and whistles and advanced functionalities. But you, as a printer, you want to also target your, for example, your local hairdresser that wants her flyers to be printed. The hairdresser is not technical at all, so yeah, to know about colors and separations, for example, she doesn't want to know. She just wants to do an approval. And with review, you can target your specific audience and turn off some interface elements like these separations, wireframe modes, very advanced things to only show big approval buttons, for example, for the hairdresser and nothing more. So that's all possible. And you will end up with a tailored experience for your specific end customer. I will show this all in practice during a demo later in this webinar. Um, and then with Enfocus Review, you can also define your different approval options, not just approve and reject. Whatever what you want in combination with automation and Switch, you can define. So with Switch, you can define the automation process that happens after a specific approval decision. So in this example, we have 4 buttons. These are four automation processes that happens after an approval decision. And of course, you can keep it simple. You can only have 2 buttons there, just approve or reject, for example. That's possible. Or you can have 20 approval buttons. But again, yeah, you can tailor review how you want it to be to really make it your tool. And then review is also available without any user management. So one thing that your customers hate doing is that they need to look up passwords and usernames. So everyone hates that you need to log in and look up your username, passwords, forget passwords, get the login again. With Enfocus Review, we want to keep it very simple. So we don't ask your customer to sign in. It's just a magic link, very secure link that they get in this example email, for example. So there they see a link to the brochure to approve. And then if they click the link, they end up on our viewer. So it's also secure. So it always works with that magic link. So very simple and fast. And you are questioning already how will this all work together? And I hear Switch already being mentioned. Yes, it works with Enfocus Switch. So Review is an app driven by Switch. It's available on our App Store. And if you don't know Switch, have a look on our marketing page on enfocus.com. Click on the automation tab, and there you can view anything related to Switch, view testimonials, and see what automation can do for you. If you don't do automation yet, you will learn you can process lots of jobs way faster than if you do this all manually, especially approvals. And in addition to Switch, we rely on our powerful and focused cloud platform to store and render all of these proofs. And then in return, it communicates it back to Switch to the review app, what the approval decision is and the files. And you can ask yourself, yeah, why the cloud? Well, first, it's very easy for you to set up. It's very modern interface, so everyone can set it up in minutes. And that's a big benefit. So it has no on-premise hosting costs or maintenance that you have to do. So no system updates you have to do anymore. It's always there. And it's very secure. So it's ISO certified with our ISO and SOC 2 certifications. We are very secure, meaning we follow and are compliant to very high international security and privacy standards. This includes many things like audits and so on. And trust me, you don't get these certifications easily. So we at Enfocus, we have them, and we're proud that we're having them. And along with it, we have 24/7 monitoring for downtime. So it's always up and very secure. And then the cloud also brings affordable pricing to go along with it. It's available in a SaaS transactional model, meaning you have an amount of transactions tied to your review subscription. But you're wondering, what does one transaction, for example, stand for? So every time someone uploads a file to review, a review cycle, so transaction is then started. Keep in mind that viewing and downloading files or making annotations, for example, are not counted as a transaction. So it's only when, yeah, the approvals, the files are sent from Switch to the cloud, that's a transaction. So any user with access to the file can do this, like annotations or downloading without any limitation. So you as a printer would only charge one transaction because it's one proof, one transaction. And with this transactional approach with the cloud, you can be very flexible and scalable, meaning you can anticipate better on high production peaks throughout the year. For example, at Christmas or other uh, high peaks in the year, you can better anticipate with transactions. But we have multiple transaction plans available for any of your needs. So I will go over the plans and pricing at the end of this webinar, and then you can see in which plan how many transactions are tied to which plan. I'm also mentioning that we have an online trial, so you can already test review out for yourself with your own PDF or use one of the supplied ones. So you don't have to set up anything. So it just works. You just fill in a form and you receive the email as a print buyer would. There's only one example file with the pre-flight report embedded, and that's also the most interesting file. So there you can see with the pre-flight report from pit stop how this all works together in review. And if you're already using Enfocus Switch under an active maintenance contract, you can trial review right away. So you can go to our app store, you can search there for review. There are setup videos, documentations, release notes, and also the sample flows from this webinar are also available there to download. So I'll give you the demo now. So I will maybe first show where the demo file, the demo page is. So you can go to our website enfocus.com. There you click on the automation tab, then go to review. Yeah, there's a very nice movie there that also explains what's the problem with approvals these days. If you scroll down, you see there the form to try out review yourself. And there is the pistol pre-flight reports file. You just enter your email address and then you receive the link to the proof just as a print buyer would get. So that's review. We also have the App Store. So on our App Store, you can find any app for Switch. So you can search there for review. You see here the review app. You can trial it yourself. So if you're under a Switch maintenance contract, you can get a trial of review for 30 days and you can play with it. And here you can find the sample flows and documentation, e-learning, release notes, movies, and so on. And we need Switch 2022 for it. So that's the App Store and Switch. Next, I will show you how to access Enfocus Review. So if you go to My Enfocus, you sign in. So in this case, I've already purchased Review. So once I purchase an Enfocus product, it shows on My Enfocus as in the list with acquired products. And there you see a link to Review. So if you click that link, you end up on your Review application. So that's My Enfocus. So this is the review application, so you can access it through review.eu.enfocus.cloud or US if you're in the US. And there we have our review admin portal. So this is the admin portal of review. So this is only for the printer itself. So not for the end customer, for the printer itself. So here they can keep a track of what's ongoing. So you can see what's always ongoing at my company. So it's a real 360 overview. In this environment, you see which proofs are pending, what needs your attention, what's due soon, what's approved, all in one easy interface. So you can filter here on what's due soon, what's not started, um, and so on. You can even go to grid view and see all of your proofs in a grid view. We have a recents view as well. So in this view, you have a recent list of all of your files. You can even pin your files. So if you say, this is a job that's very important to me, we can pin them. And they have their own section in the menu under pinned. They will show up. Let's, for example, pin this one too. And then I see two pinned reviews to keep track of. So that's how you can keep track of really important reviews. And all of your other reviews are in this overview. Next are settings. So think of this portal as well as your gateway to review using with Switch. So we have settings here. You see your storage, your transactions, depending on your subscription. You can keep track of all of your storage and transactions as well. So you can really follow them up.
Yeah.
And here is an
Arthur,
interesting tab. Hmm.
Arthur, let me interrupt here for a moment because there
Yeah,
was a question on storage. Somebody
yeah.
saying we have 5 GB and we go beyond that. Does that have an impact on billing, on functionality? What can you say about it?
Overuse is supported, so you will get billed on overuse at the end of the year. And then at the end of the year, you can also choose if you go to a higher plan, or you can go to a higher plan already earlier in the process.
And what is the starting amount of storage that you have?
The starting amount of storage is around 5 GB, and
Yes.
then with the starter subscription, and then
Yeah.
25 with the standard subscription. And then we also have an ultimate plan and an enterprise plan, but I will go over these details at the end of the webinar.
Yeah. Okay. And
Yeah.
another relevant question in this
Mhm.
context, can you have different internal users to log into the review admin
No,
portal?
so currently it's only one admin that goes to this portal, and that's
Mhm.
typical the Switch admin. So yeah, there's only one user.
Only one user. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Thank you. And yeah, and there's a question, how can you separate
Mhm.
different customers? Yeah, the customers, that's a different story. Yeah? You get a link. We will see that later on in Arthur's presentation. We get a link and you distribute that link to whoever has to receive it. Yeah. Um,
Mhm, correct.
so later on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Are there
there's
more
also a
questions, Freddy?
question on, yeah, how does overuse apply to storage alone? I assume it's in the same way as transactions.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. If you have an overuse on storage or on transactions, yeah, there are plans for that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Continue, Arthur.
Okay. Thanks. Good questions. So connections, there is a tab in settings for connections, and the connections is the most interesting one. So the connection tab is needed to link and focus review on the cloud to Switch to start sending proofs back and forth. Um, so yeah, we also have customization here. So next to connections, we have a customization tab, and there you can make a list of all of your teamings that you want to team your viewer environment with, depending on the customer, depending on if you have a different web shop. Um, you can link all of your integrations to a specific team. Um, I will demo this later in the webinar, so I don't want to go into detail of this right now because it will come at the end. So I will first start with connections. So if you want to get started with review, you need to get a new connection. I will make a new connection for this demo. And here you see my connection token. So I can copy this to my clipboard, and I can add this token to my switch. So here this is switch with Enfocus Review enabled. So I have some sample flows with Enfocus Review built. So in this webinar, I will show you how Review interacts with single files. Then I will show you how we can tailor the interface to our different personas that I've mentioned already. Then pre-flighting. So we use Pitstop Server all together with Review for very nice pre-flighting and embedding of the pre-flight report straight into Review. And the next thing is collections. So if you want to send multiple files in one job to a customer for approval, it's possible. You don't have to send single files for approval. You can send them like in a folder to a customer, and that will be shown in the collections. Then I will go through annotations and comments so that you can make an annotation and highlight specific elements in the PDF. And then I have a demo where we go into detail, like with the job onboarding example, and a mockup and some branding applied. So in this scenario, I will show the custom branding. But first start with the start flow. So I will add my new token. So I have the review app at the center of my flow. And here you can see that there is like a cloud token. So I can paste my token in and then it will work. So it will connect now to the cloud. So it will get a connection ready now. And then I can apply my own branding. So I have branding enabled. And there are some specific properties which I will also go into detail if we get to these flows. So for now, I will just start the flow. So I have pasted in my token. So the flow will be activated now. I will drop in file. Let's say this magazine. And in the meantime, you can tell Review is now processing the file. And then it will be sent off to an email. So we have multiple elements here. You can send a review email to customers. So in this demo, I will just use a demo email address, but of course, this comes from your systems with a variable name. But for the sake of this demo, it's just my review demo email address. And then you can also chase the customer. Switch can chase the customer, not you, with sending reminders. So you can all define that from the review app. So there are very nice properties that you can play with. And in the meantime, my email is sent. So I should go to my email. Let's have a look. There is approvals requested. So I open my email. So this is how the customer will now view the proof. So it's super fast. So even on a slow network, it's super responsive. So I can zoom in, I can pan, I can browse pages real quick. So it's very responsive, as you can tell. And we have a tab here, so tools and approval. So we can open the tools panel now. Here you can see the navigator, of course. So if we zoom in, you can see we're zooming into this area of the file. So again, super responsive. We have more toolings here, so we can view the document properties. You can see the native application in which the file was built in. What are the fonts? So you can see the fonts all listed up. If we scroll down, so we can even disable some panels as well. We can view the separations. So we can visualize all the channels. It works with spot colors too. I will show in the file later on. And here you can view everything related to separations. and it's also interactive. We have ink coverage, so you can measure ink coverage as well. So it's depending on specific values. And then we have our pit stop inspector. So let's inspect, for example, this area of the file. I can see the text properties. Um, I can inspect the logo. So I see this is an image. Um, it's a JPEG. Um, so it's very advanced. We also have preferences. So it works in dark mode as well. If your PDF looks better in dark mode, you can enable these preferences. Um, and for advanced toolings, we have next to the preferences a view tab. Here you can enable the rulers and the guides, page boxes, so you can see is there bleed, what's the trim box. You can view the wireframe mode. So this is from Pitstop. There you can view how the file is structured up, where are images, the fonts, and you can enable spreads as well, and the finished size. So this without the page boxes, how it will be printed in the end. So these are advanced functionalities. So it's all available in this viewer on the cloud. So it's very responsive. But you can see, yeah, we offer lots of technical information to your customers in this viewer, but we can tailor this to specific customers because we don't want to have all of these bells and whistles to all of our customers. And this leads to our next demo is user personas. So we can define user personas to only show
Um,
the relevant functionalities.
yeah,
Yes, Freddy?
yes, I would like to interrupt here for a
Hmm.
moment. We have a few questions that are relevant here.
Yeah,
UI support in multi-language, for example,
yeah,
Chinese. So perhaps you can show
yeah.
the settings for the different languages.
I will show the languages in a
You
moment.
will show
Yes.
that later on, okay?
Yeah,
And then there was also a question about color management module on board for the display. Yeah, embedded color profiles in the PDF are indeed interpreted correctly. Yeah, but of course, it's not a controlled environment, Patrick, in the sense that with calibrated
yeah.
monitors and stuff like that, that's that, that's not what it is. Huh? Okay,
Mhm.
as you continue. Yeah.
Yeah. So we want to tailor our interface from review the viewer to specific personas. So in this example, for example, our hairdresser, a regular user, and a marketing agency that's very advanced. So some people expect all of these advanced tools and bells and whistles like our marketing agency, but our hairdresser, yeah, she doesn't want to see it. So we have defined a persona for her, and we can adjust the environment based on variables. So we have private data enabled here, and then in the review app, there is something view settings. So there you can attach private data variables to your um, properties in the review app, and there you can define based on these personas um, which functionalities you want to view in the viewer for that specific persona. Um, and customization also goes to approval decisions. So we have our approval decisions here. So the question came, yeah, can we support our approval decisions in multiple languages? The answer is yes. There is on the arrow, if you click on the arrow, an option here to enable translation. So it will take the translation from, it will take the language from the browser or what's in preferences enabled. And here you can supply your approval decisions in all of these languages. Review is available. So review is available in all of these languages. And if you say, yeah, I need my approval decision in all of these languages, you can just enter them here, and it will be shown in the interface as an approval button. So for now, I won't translate the approval button, so it's in English for now. I will enable my flow and I will demonstrate how, for example, our hairdresser can make an approval in a very simple viewer. So let's
John is
apply our
wondering
file
if you're
again.
not
Mhm.
insulting a hairdresser here.
Yeah, a hairdresser can also be very technical. Um, but yeah, or a
It,
marketing agency cannot be very technical. So it's all depending on what you define your users. So the file is now uploaded to review. So I should get my email now as well. So there the email is. Um, it's just easy. I can open the link. So now I'm in the persona of our hairdresser. So she doesn't know anything our um, about our channels or colors. Um, so she just wants to browse her magazine like she will be in practice as she's expecting. So we've enabled spreads by default for that customer so she can just go through the magazine as she would in practice. And you see we don't have a tool stop available, just approval, and there she can make an approval. So let's say it's approved. You can ask as well in the review app. And you can also ask for your approver's name. So in the review app, you can enable approver's name. And then the next time you open up in the browser, you can view your name because it's remembered from the browser. So let's make an approval decision. So the file is now approved. And this is a post-approval page, but I will come into this example later on. But the idea is with post-approval pages that you can set for your own brand a post-approval page to link it to wherever page that you want. But I will show how you make that at the end of the demo. So now the hairdresser approved the file. We go back to Switch. Maybe you want to see again for a marketing agency. So let's upload a file for a marketing agency to review. So we should get the email as well very soon. So the mail is sent. I go back to my email. Open up. So the file is loaded. And there you see I have the tools enabled for this advanced user. So I have my eyedropper available. I have the inspector available. Everything is available. Wireframe mode as well to this specific end user in the same flow. So that's possible with personas. I will maybe show one more example because I was mentioning the spot colors. So let's have a look at spot colors. Review also supports spot colors. So I will send another file to review with just spot colors. I will get a new link just like this, and I can open a new ad page for my magazine. I see these are spot colors in the channels. I can view all of these separations. In this view, I can zoom in and view all the separations, all the Pantone colors. I can turn them off. Um, so that's the spot colors example. And that's leading to my third flow. So the third flow is about
there's something I
reflighting.
would
Are there questions?
something I would like to add about the spot colors based on a
Yeah.
question. Yeah, the viewer honors ink order and ink opaqueness, yeah, which is also something that is not supported by Acrobat. Like for example, if you have foil blocking, yeah, a silver foil block, then yeah, that's opaque. Yeah? So when you put it on top of something, even if it is set to overprint, it never overprints because it's an opaque ink. So these are things that are honored as well by the viewing. Now, these are specialty cases, of course, for packaging, but I thought it was perhaps interesting to mention that. Okay, yeah.
Thanks, Freddy. So that's spot colors. Of course, a normal user that doesn't need to know spot colors, you can disable all of these functionalities. So that's the power of review with user personas. So again, very easy to define, and then you can tailor the interface to persona that you're targeting, to your print buyer, your specific print buyer. My next demo is about pre-flighting with Pitstop Server. So that's another advanced feature that we offer. So we use our Pitstop pre-flight reports for this. So if you pre-flight a file before files go to production, what you normally do is sending the result by email, for example, to the customer. But with Review, we offer an embedded pre-flight reports, interactive to see where the issues are. So it's visualized on the PDF itself, all in the browser. And we're using Pitstop Server for that. We can just supply pre-flight profiles or use variables. For example, you can connect product specifications with a lookup table, for example, which results in a specific pre-flight profile, which is then passed as a variable back to Pitstop Server. So I will upload files. So let's activate the flow again. I have a switch brochure with an issue. So the file is going through Pitstop Server now. Pitstop Server is processing the files based on the pre-flight report profile. It's making a pre-flight report and it's embedding and sending that to Review. And I got the email now as well. So here is the link to my brochure. And there you see a new tab available in the viewer. So it's called Quality Reports, and there you can tell that there are issues found in the document. On page 1, there is a grayscale image. You can view all of the objects. There is the issue. And there is as well an issue with overprint. So I can tell who there is an issue with overprint. Without these tools, I would never catch this issue. And you can very fast see an interactive preview. Where is the issue, depending on the pre-flight reports from Pitstop. So it highlights the issues and objects, and that's where we have the issue and where we need to solve it. And then, of course, we can make an annotation and send this back to the printer to solve it. So that's pre-flighting. So pre-flight reports can be embedded. So Pitstop pre-flight reports embedded in the environment in the review viewer. Freddy, do you have any questions regarding this in the chat?
No, I do have lots of questions I have to
Yeah.
answer. So I also find it difficult to follow the presentation where we are, where we were. Now, one of the things that has already popped up was collections, but you haven't talked about collections yet.
Yeah, collections is after this pre-flighting.
Yes. Okay.
So I will just go through collections now. So I have my collections set up. So what's a collection? So we understand, sometimes you're working on projects for approval with multiple files. So you don't want to send all of these files one by one to the customers. You don't want to spam them, so you send these as a collection. So think of a collection as a folder with just the files that needs to be approved all in there. And you can get approval on the whole collection and track the progress. Of course, it's all possible with Review, and in the demo, I have a collection flow. So there is a property to enable collections, so you can still decide just want to send multiple files as multiple emails to my customer. I want to spam them with multiple emails. That's no problem. Then you can keep this on no, but for this demo, it's on yes. You can define the collection name. So it's based on a fixed value that you want, or just a variable, or on the folder's name. So it can also be combined with pre-flighting. Anything is possible with collections. So then it pre-flights all of the files from a collection in the collection with Pitstop server and sending them to review all combined in one link. So I will take, for example, this magazine example. So there are 4 files in there, or no, 5 files. 4 files, I can tell. So I will drop the folder in my input folder, and these files go one by one through review and combining them as a collection. So that's the benefit. They're all tied to one job. Then they are sent to the customer in one job with a name. And you, as a printer, you can follow the progress in the admin environment and see which files are approved or not. So I received the link. So in this example, the customer can just access now multiple files through one link. So this example is, yeah, magazine, a new edition, for example. Then I end up on the folder view, so on the collections overview. There you can see there are 4 files in my collection to be reviewed. So I have reviewed 0 files currently. So I want to review my cover. And if I click on an item, it takes me to the viewer as you would expect. So the cover looks nice. I will approve this to print. So again, my name is remembered because of the browser, but you can fill in any name here. Or you can disable this functionality if you don't want to ask for approver's name. You can disable that in the review app properties. So I will now
There was
make an
also a
approval
question if
decision.
you could enforce the use of an email address there.
Currently not. So it's currently only the approver's name, but of course the user can also fill
But
in
yeah,
an
the
email.
user could fill in
Yeah,
an email address.
yeah,
Yes, of
yeah, of
course.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So we see that the files are approved. And if I go now as a printer, I want to keep track of my collection. Then you can see as well real time. You can follow everything real time. What's happening inside the collections. So I made an approval decision on one file. The printer can track these all from the dashboard. But now I go back to the customer. So I'm the customer that needs to approve the files. Let's say I will go to the ad, and there I see, yeah, there is something wrong. We'll continue. Okay, so, and then you see I get a thank you page, so you can tailor review how you want. So the post approval page can now be set to an approval button, make corrections and reproof. So you can build your own solutions and link them to your own APIs to upload a new file back to Switch. It's all possible with the post approval pages. And then if I go back to the collection, I see, yeah, that there is a correction needed. And I see my approval decision comment there as well. So, and this is shown to the printer as well. And you can approve all of these files further down the road.
There's a question also here about collections. When you approve a file, does it
Mhm.
go through immediately, or will the app wait for all the files in the collection
Yeah.
to be approved?
So that's depending on your workflow, of course, but yeah, a collection, the files that are approved can go further down in Switch, so they can go to production immediately.
Hmm.
And you see that there are files waiting for corrections in the folder uh, waiting for corrections. Yeah. So some parts of what's ready to print can be printed indeed.
Okay.
But to the printer, if he wants to track if there are two files approved, um, it's still in progress. So the whole collection, the whole job is not fully done. Um, and then, of course, review can send reminders. There are still files to approve. So we are not waiting for the whole collection to be approved. So you can see them in the folder that these are approved and they go further down the flow. So that's collections. Very easy to keep jobs together, files to a job together. Um, and then my next flow is about comments and annotations. I will.
There is one more
Mhm,
question I would like to take
yes.
here. What's the purpose of the timeout? Yeah, well, that's simply if you're past that time, then it means that
Yeah.
the review is too late. Huh? Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know whether you have already covered timeout because there's
No.
quite a lot of questions here. I get, yeah.
Yeah, so timeout is indeed what Freddie mentioned. So if files are too late after we've sent reminders, they go to a timeout folder indeed. So you can set a due date for the files relative to only working days, excluding weekends. So it's all available in the review properties to define.
Okay, good.
So I
Uh,
will leave collections and go to the annotations. Or is there a question, Freddy?
well, no, there's a couple of things, but I'll take them at the end because
Yeah,
they're not
thanks.
relevant to what you're saying right now. Yeah.
Okay. I will activate the annotations now. So with Enfocus Review, we're also bringing order to the complexity of customer feedback. And sometimes feedback gets lost in all of the emails. So with Review, we capture feedback with the approval decision, as you've already seen already. But there's something specific like making the logo smaller, a wrong image. And if you tell that in the approval decision, we cannot really tell which image they mean or which font is wrong. So it's nice to just annotate on the file itself. So we will drop a file to annotate. I will use my Enfocus brochure, sending that to review. I will get the email now. Mm, So we have here two annotation options available. So we can make an annotation like in Acrobat, just yeah, wrong tagline. And for example, on this page, this QR code is wrong. We can even emphasize words more um, and save that annotation. And then, of course, the annotations show up in the annotations panel. So we have multiple panels here, and one of them is the annotations list. And here you can see all of my annotations and comments in the file. Um, I can make it even another color. So that's all possible. And then, of course, we make an approval decision. There are corrections needed. Then we can make see comments. So now it's reviewed. And as mentioned, yeah, we can enable any post-approval page. We go back to Switch. The file will come back again. Let's have a look at the file. I hope this one is it. Yeah, it's in the problem jobs, so we'll see there was indeed a problem with the file. So we can view what are the comments. So we have here.
You have to stop your flow.
Oh, so here we can see in the problem jobs the comments.
Was it not in make corrections and reproof?
There it is. Yeah, sorry, I was looking at the
Yeah.
wrong folder.
Ah,
Thanks, Freddy. Uh, that's the sake of a live demo. So I open the files now in Acrobat. I can easily tell it's a wrong tagline. And then I go to my other comments. There is a wrong logo there and a wrong QR code. So the same colors are displayed in Acrobat. Even, yeah, the emphasis on wrong is as well mentioned in Acrobat. And one of the benefits as well, so we stopped our flow, we can use inspect job. We can go into metadata of the file. We can view in text and then build our location path. And there we can view the review details. And we can see all of these comments right in the metadata in Switch. So that's very handy that we can view what's being annotated, what's commented, all back in the metadata. So we can build reminder emails as well with these comments all in one email. You can send these comments to prepress attached to the file. So there's lots of possibilities with it. One of the possibilities I will show you as well. So we have another app
and
from
also
Enfocus
the
that,
detection that comments have been made. Huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you can generate a list of all of these comments and send it in a separate email. It's all possible. So that's a very powerful feature available with comments and annotations. And then the last thing to mention is related to a job onboarding context and custom branding. So that's my last demo for today. So I will activate my flow back. And now I will show you how you can create your own branding team. So let's create a team together. So you can see there is branding enabled here. So we can create a team by ourselves. So I promised that at the start of the webinar. So we can go to customization. And there I can see my team is there. I can add a new team. I can make a description. I can use this example. I can upload a custom logo. And as you can tell, there is an option here to enable a post-approval page. So after every approval decision, you've seen that I went to another website, so you can enable with the review parameters in the URL post-approval page. You can override the helpers, even for quality reports. You can override the helpers. You can make, yeah, different colors. So we can make a color like this. So we can save the theme. Oops, there's something wrong. Voila. So let's say we created a theme now. So I go back to my switch, and then you will be able to uh, select all of your themes from your library. Um, so if you're on your review, you make a theme, they will all show here, all available. Um, but for the sake of time and demo, I will just continue with the brand I've created. I will activate my flow, and I go into the Switch web portal. So I will now show a demo regarding to a job context, to a job onboarding context. So we offer with Switch submit points, and sometimes you want to send a proof in a nice mockup. For example, we're now sending in a beach flag. So I have my beach flag ready to send for approval. So this is the nice beach flag. I will send them to our submit point. I can enable here a beach flag. We'll submit. And if I go back to Switch, you can see the file is currently being prepared by Pitstop server. I will make it a nice beach flag mockup and send it off to the customer for approval in our mockup.
Yeah. And as we are waiting for that, Arthur,
Mhm.
I have a couple of questions for you. There was a question on mobile support.
Yeah, so currently we don't support mobile yet. So it's only from the desktop or laptops. Yeah.
Okay. Also, browser compatibility, because somebody noticed that you're using Edge. So there was also a question on that.
Yeah, it works in Safari as well. On
Chrome, of course.
Chrome, there's no issues. No.
No.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. And there you can see our beach flag right in action.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
for time, Freddy, I have one more topic to talk about, and that's the public API.
Yeah.
Um,
There is
so
also, yeah, the question on personalization of the domain. I think
that's
that's also an interesting question.
that's not supported currently. Yeah. So we
Yeah,
know
that's
that's a feature request.
that's a feature
Um,
request. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And also related a little bit in this area, and then you can tackle the last
Mhm.
subject, GDPR compliancy.
Yeah, we are fully compliant with GDPR. So on our website, in the legal page there, you can find our full SaaS policy. So we're fully compliant with GDPR, even in Germany, Italy, specific countries, we're fully compliant. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. There was also a question on SOX compliancy. Uh,
Mhm.
that is not supported, yeah? And we want to have a very easy to use product. So there's a link, just like you would send an email to somebody with an attachment. Well, that person gets the attachment. Here you send an email to somebody with a link, and the person has a link. So there is
Yeah.
no credentials involved. That also makes it easy to use, and that's also a part of the charm of the product, I think. Yeah, but that means that it's not SOX compliant. So what I'm referring to here is in pharmaceutical or FDA regulated
Mhm.
environments, that you have to be able to track all the approvals that have been given. Yeah, and because there are no credentials, that's not possible. Yeah, but that's a choice. Yeah, if you need that, you have to look at other products like Web Center from ESCO, for example. Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
and
Thanks, Freddy.
shoot. Yeah.
Um, So for the last minutes, I'm also now mentioning with Enfocus Review, we're releasing every 6 weeks, as you would expect from a modern SaaS software. So one of our latest features is a public API. So we have an API available for very advanced customers that want to integrate review with their own workflows, MIS or Web2Print solutions. This comes as an add-on, so it's not available for all subscriptions. So this is an extra paying feature targeted for power users that want a custom integration. Um, so if you sign up for the public API, you just receive a link to our public API platform to get started. You can use an API token as well, and there you can view all of the APIs that are currently possible. So there are some very nice entry points available for you to use and enhance your workflows with. Some interesting ones are retrieving list and file information, setting review properties to a file, get the list of all annotations in the PDF, and upload all the pre-flight report alongside the proof. So that's the highlight. It's with Pitstop and many more, of course. So that's the public API. That's our latest feature. And then my final slides are regarding plans and pricing. So you can find these on our website. So review starts in our starters tier. Then we have a standard tier. And you can see there are 100 reviews in the starter and 500 a month in the standards. And then the storage as well. There's an ultimate plan. So there you have 1000 review transactions, 100 gigabytes of storage. And then we have an enterprise version, which is very specific. So if you need a custom amount of files, of reviews a month, custom transactions, custom storage, it's available in our standard plan, in our enterprise plan. And of course, you can add the public API to any plan. So contact your reseller in your region for pricing. Um, and that concludes the webinar. So have a look on our plans and pricing on our website, enfocus.com/review. You can view all of the videos there as well, or e-learnings are available. So thank you for attending this webinar.
Okay, thank you, Arthur. I think you did
Just on time.
great for your first
Yeah,
webinar. Huh? Okay,
thank
you
you.
have in lots of questions. The audience has kept me very busy. Okay, thank you, everybody, and make sure to join us next month for more
Yeah,
Enfocus.
so Freddy, will the questions be sent to the people that asked for this?
I answered most of the questions
Okay, thank you.
either as text or through voice.
Hmm.
And of course, if anything is still open, then don't hesitate to get in touch. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So thank you,
Bye bye for
everyone.
now.